Okay, I'm going to throw it out there right now. I'm foreseeing the future, and I really think it's legit. What's about to go down, and potentially what Kara is, and more than likely what this new threat is going to be. It's right here. Y'all ready for this? And it sounds silly, but I think this is where it's going, and I'm being 100% dead serious with saying this. I think the new threat is going to be ninja robots. It sounds fucking silly as shit, but I think that's where it's going. Konohamaru in the beginning, cliffhanger as fuck, interesting as fuck, where he was inside the box trying to get data, and it's like, what's going on? And you see like this leg, honestly it looks metallic, and what was inside that box? Where is he getting data? More than likely it's a robot. Maybe this robot is an incredible combination of every fucking jutsu or something, and this is also going to be possibly linked to something that Sasuke says later in the chapter regarding a threat on the level of the Otsutsuki. But going back to the beginning of the chapter, Konohamaru, yo, that's a great entrance. I think we should have seen a little bit more. Maybe by the end of the chapter, we should have seen Konohamaru bloody on the floor or some shit like that to really signify this ain't no joke. But I'm pretty sure Konohamaru is not necessarily going to die, but he's going to get his ass kicked. But then again, Masashi Kishimoto did said, he told his people, hold no punches. People from the old manga can die in Boruto. I'm not putting restrictions, so you never know. But I truly believe that in that box was a robot, one of the things that they've been working on heavily, and maybe even Kara themselves are all robots, but this guy is like the perfect combination and the perfect experiment, using all sorts of different chakra, all sorts of different elements. Who the fuck knows what else? I'm imagining if Kishimoto had any input in this, even though obviously he's not the writer, but he probably said, throw a Sharingan in that motherfucker too. We need some Uchiha, because we know the original creator, he's a huge Uchiha fan. I bet there's some of that shit in there, but I'm really leaning heavily towards that, and that's where the data was going to be that Konohamaru was going to get, and he's going to possibly come back to the Leaf bloody and shit with enough data so we could get an idea of what the fuck this was. But you look at the leg, it kind of looked metallic, and even if you look at that leader, the young one from Kara, he looks like he could potentially be half human, half robot or something along the lines of that, because a lot of this arc going to Katatsuke, the guy that was the piece of shit from the Chunin exams that helped Boruto to cheat, it seems as though with him, it's all about technology, and this arc seems like it's going into technology. And Naruto has been interesting because even though it always felt like it was in olden times, it always dealt with slightly technology, as like, I think they had headsets and shit early on and stuff like that. And then you go into, you know, the modern world and the Boruto world, they have a whole city, they have cell phones and shit like that. So I really truly believe, as corny as it sounds, hopefully they can pull it off and it won't be corny, but as corny as it sounds, I think we're gonna have Robot Shinobi, which saying that is really making me fucking cringe. But if they're anything, or this guy is anything as badass as Kara has looked so far, the concept might sound silly, but the execution could be really freaking dope. Now, going back to Sasuke saying that this being in the shadows that could potentially be on the level of the Otsutsuki. On top of that, the connection between Kara and the seal, and of course Boruto has that seal or whatever. So I think one big thing is, I don't know if it's Kara themselves or it's this robot, but then again, this robot seemingly just came out of the box. So I don't think it's this robot that's been hiding in the shadows. I think he's more so referring to Kara. So that's really big deal. That's a really big deal, because remember, Naruto and Sasuke struggled and they had to use the strategy with Boruto and everything to get rid of Momoshiki. So if the Kara group, or that one guy, or that robot, or all of them together are all equally as strong as Momoshiki, then not only, you know, it's going to be like, hey, the old dudes, Naruto, Sasuke, all of them are going to have to go in, which could make this arc to be the best arc in Boruto thus far, excluding the movie shit, because I don't even count the movie shit. It's the movie, they readapted it for this, and they're readapting it in the anime, and we'll talk a little bit about something regarding the anime and its connection in this chapter or whatever. But like, I think that this could be a real big deal if it's on that level. And obviously Boruto and them, they're getting, bro, like Boruto, he helped at a right time, at a right place or whatever, but in actuality, if they're on the Otsutsuki level, Naruto and Sasuke is going to have to step in. It's going to be freaking insane. So a lot of hype with that, between the beginning, where if Konohamaru got his shit kicked in, that thing that came out, whatever it is, crazy. Sasuke saying that there's threats in the shadows on the level of the Otsutsuki, crazy. And then a lot of stuff within the chapter that I really didn't care for goes into the parts of Boruto's character that it's the reason why a lot of people dislike him, and it's something that I personally disliked as well. And Boruto being bitter because of what happened in the Chunin exams with Katasuke. Well, even though Katasuke was essentially, he was mind controlled by Kara seemingly, which was revealed in this chapter or whatever. It was Kara that was controlling him and whatnot. It seems as though like throughout the chapter you're getting a spoiled, bratty Boruto that doesn't understand like, the technology can be used in other ways and you shouldn't hate technology. And I think the entirety of this arc, which really goes into my whole theory about this is all going to be robot ninja and shit like that, I think it goes into technology can be a good thing and a bad thing, but I think maybe the whole thing is going to be you can embrace it. And I think that's going to be the big theme of all of this. And I'm going way ahead. Maybe I'm seeing into the future. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe it's not a robot shinobi, but that's personally where I'm seeing everything. Because again, it's focusing on Katasuke and his inventions. You see in the chapter Naruto with the robotic arm and shit like that. It all makes sense. Konohamaru trying to get the data from the machine. It all adds up. I will say one thing, because then we get the setup for Boruto having to go on the mission and him being once again a whiny bitch. Like, those are the parts of the chapter I was just like, oh god, Boruto, shut the fuck up. I thought he was over this shit. Like, I don't want to go on the mission. Like, shut up. Just shut up. Sarada's ready to go. And then it was something really weird where Mitsuki wrapped himself around. I was like, bro, why are you acting like a hentai tentacle motherfucker? Like, ugh. A little bit creepy, but then again, with the Boruto manga opposed to the anime, which the anime is just going straight away, like, obviously it's going for a younger demographic, but it's still in the same vein as how Naruto felt or whatever. It was just like, hey, you can watch this shit. Sometimes the manga be feeling like they want to get for the people that like that lowly shit, and that's why they over-sexualize Sarada. People want that little weird shit, having Mitsuki rap. I was like, bro, oh, no. And then a big part of the chapter, which, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit like weary because I don't really remember too much about this guy. But this guy, Ao, which I believe he was supposed to have died with, if I'm not mistaken, Shikamaru's dad. Or he was supposed to anyway have died. And he also has a Byakugan, which is something really big and goes into the title of this video if I'm titling it, the title that I have in my mind or whatever. He has a Byakugan, and we get to meet him and introduce, he introduces with Boruto and shit like that. I think there's going to be something big and a big turnaround. Again, I'm going way into the future of this arc because I think this could be a very long arc and a very good arc if they play it right, whatever. But I do see him at some given point having a turnaround again. He's working, obviously, for Kara. We find out in this chapter. He could be a double agent, though, but I see him in the future helping Boruto out. And to be honest with you, if Boruto is going to get, because in the manga, it hasn't really touched up on Boruto having that eye. In the anime, it had for the first arc, you see him constantly getting that eye and then it disappears or whatever. The manga hasn't touched up on that at all. So it could be different. It could just be the way he gets his eye in the anime and manga is two different things. I mean, this guy, Ao, he has a Byakugan, he has one of them. It could be some very dire situation, and bam, that's how Boruto gets his Byakugan from this guy. We theorized when we first seen him, maybe it was Hinata dies, maybe it was Himawari, maybe it was his grandpa. I think the grandpa one would have been the most impactful and could have been the most suited, because I mean, who the fuck would care if the grandfather died or whatever? Like, nobody really cares about him as a character, and he was a dick. But it could very well be Ao, and this is how Boruto gets that eye that we see at the very beginning of the manga and anime. Again, the anime's been handling it differently. We haven't seen the anime show as of recent that eye that he has, the special eye, but this could very well be it. It could be a big turnaround towards the end, but there was a couple interesting things about Ao. Again, one, he survived, which he shouldn't have survived. Again, if he was in that big explosion, motherfucker should have been dead. But also, he's going into the whole lesson that I've been saying is that, you're seeing that technology is allowing him to be able to still function and shit like that. So it's teaching Boruto a lesson that technology can be used in many different ways. You shouldn't fight it. Just accept it. And maybe this is the whole lesson that these people, the writers themselves, are facing, is that, they were probably used to analog and doing everything. And now it's like, you gotta accept it. Digital age is here to stay. And going into one thing real quick that I mentioned earlier in this video, they actually are connecting stuff that is anime only into the manga. They reference what's going on currently in the anime with the Hidden Mist field trip. That was actually mentioned. So it also makes me think, and I could make a full video on this as well, if they're connecting shit like that, maybe they're also going to connect in somehow, some way, characters like in the anime, Iwabe and Denki, characters like that we haven't even heard or seen of in the manga, it could eventually connect. Maybe they're just on missions, maybe they died, something happened, maybe Iwabe turns out to be Kawaki, who the fuck knows. But that was a little interesting treat that they threw that in there. Maybe they really do want to connect the manga and anime with slight differences, but nevertheless, that was an interesting note that they threw in the chapter. It was kind of like, hey, we know the anime is pretty different from the manga, and they're doing things in this characters that we haven't even talked about in the manga, but here, they're connected. We'll show later on. That'd be interesting, because again, I want to know what the fuck happened with Iwabe and Denki in the anime. They're pivotal characters to the team. Let's see what's going on. And then going more into the Kara group, because it seems as though this Kara group is pretty big. Because the main guy that we've seen that he's been fucking people up, and I think he killed the old man, he's seemingly in the inner parts, and Ao is the outer parts of the Kara. First of all, I want to know why the Ao joined the Kara to begin with. Again, is he doubling as a double agent? Also, why is he in the outer parts? If he's supposed to be a strong dude, he got Byakugan and shit like that, he must be an ant compared to this dude. This dude looks like he could be a beast, so I'm really excited to see, again, if what Sasuke is saying about these people moving in the shadows on the same level as the Otsutsuki, this could be hype. This could be really, really good stuff, so I'm looking forward to it. Ao as a character, I mean, let's be real. Naruto Sasuke smacked the shit out of him, and, you know, the dude left him some weapons and shit like that. He's like, you probably won't need them. Maybe he will need them. Maybe he'll use them against you guys. So Ao could be the downfall of them, because, again, I see a big turnaround and going into the whole lesson of technology and shit like that, with Ao's character going from, he's seemingly a bad guy right now, going back to, hey, I'm a good guy. And I mean, they're sending him to get the vessel, so whatever that vessel is, if it's a robot or some shit like that, I'm really excited to see it. Very big question, first of all. If my theory is correct that we're going into a ninja robot shit, Mecha Naruto, hey, not them, I am. What do you think about it? Think it's too corny? You think they could pull it off? Again, Kara so far, if they're robots, or are they even somewhat robotic, I like them. I think they're pretty fucking cool. So if it's in that vein, I'll be fine with it. Just don't go into the goofy Mecha Naruto route. At that point, you lost me. Think it could be good? Also, what do you think about Ao's return? How he survived? Again, I'm not too familiar. I just don't really remember the motherfucker. So I had to wiki him up and shit like that. What do you think? Could he be the reason that Boruto in the manga gets Byakugan? He has one. Boruto has one. Could he be the one that transplants it? And what do you think about Kara thus far? Do you think Konohamaru got wrecked? Do you think Konohamaru is going to live, die, whatever? You never know. Kishimoto said all bets are off. He is fine with the old cast dying in Boruto. And your overall thoughts of the chapter. The parts where Boruto was being a whiny bitch and I don't want to do the mission and Katatsuki and what happened in the training. Stop it. Get the fuck over it already, you little fucking spoiled shit. Now I'm sick of it. I've had enough. Grow the fuck up. I thought you grew up and got past this shit during the Boruto Naruto the movie stuff. Grow the fuck up already. You're getting. Sorry for the rant. Your overall thoughts of the chapter again. It was an okay chapter. I think the Ao stuff and the Kara stuff is really getting me excited. I just wanted to see Konohamaru and his little fight and what the fuck was gonna go down. I imagine him showing up to the Leaf though, all bloody with a little bit of data. Let's see how it goes. That's all I have for this one though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Kara, you better live up to the expectations, because right now you're looking sick, and that robot might be sick too.